When I was in 6th standard, that used to be the time when, if for some one reason or another there is no attendance in the class of various sections, it used to be combined, and combined classes were being taken in lieu of less attendance, and all can be accommodated at once. So that's was the situation that day, that A and B section of classes were made to sit together, and many times there are different teachers for different sections. They have never been to our class and there's no such direct interaction. Sometimes a different teacher is teaching a different subject in another section to start with. Maybe he or she was about teachers, but till now there was no interaction. So we me along with one of my best friend, who still is contact with me and is in administrative position as of today. That time the teacher was of Hindi subject, and she came and she was dictating something from her book. I was sitting quite far from her, probably in a corner, since the classroom was big and it was crowded after being combined the students of two groups. Probably I passed on some comment and we both smiled. He had the quality of controlling his smile and I couldn't. Somehow she was recognizing him, but not me. It was our first interaction. She said, just send that guy next to you to me. Now I knew I was in grave situation, but I had no option. I couldn't just deny it. I came out with a droopy face and reached on to her. She kept continuing dictating what she was teaching. Then she turned left and saw me and said, "Oh, you're here." Then, without saying anything, I knew something bad was about to happen. She slapped me thrice. It was so hard that I could, or anyone can actually sense or recognize her fingers. She asked me to go out of the class, and I was a little tearful, less from physical harm or pain and more from the humiliation I was about to feel in front of class, because your friends and your crush is mostly in that class, and when you're good in studies, it's quite a humiliating moment to be slapped and be called out of the class. I was made to stand. I was not able to attend the class further. It concluded there and then. While she went out, she said, "Just go inside and don't do that again." Later, she started attending our class, and by the time she understood me, since I was one of the bright students of the class, and there was a lot of interaction as well as positive response from my side. Now, she definitely doesn't remember I was the guy she had slapped brutally in her first class. But of course, since I was on the receiving and I had, I'll definitely remember it. Later on, the bonding was so great that, in fact, we used to talk even apart from his studies, the philosophical things, the family matters, as well as other things not necessarily related to studies. When I left the school in class 10th, after that I visited twice my school, and it was just her which I was able to interact later. It was such a friendly term, and I had so much respect for her, and I think this feeling of respect was mutual. She too did used to admire me a lot for my spirit as well as the way I maintained my academic performance. So the message is, sometimes do not go too hard on your first impressions. It may go the other way and you may form a very opposite judgment, opposite opinion, perception of a people you might have had in one of the first moments. that may not define the true identity of that person, or maybe the relationship that can be nurtured in the coming future. First impressions do mean a lot, but not necessarily they are true. In a long sense, a person can have a bad day and may just spurt out the venom on you out of anger, and you start hating him instantly without realizing what he was going through. It happens even with you, with me. We form our judgments in one of the first meetings, but that's not true. Give it a time. Everyone has their situation, their timing, they might be going through a war inside which you are not aware about. So just give it a time and don't form judgments too early. And it was not just her case. There are many other teachers from whom I have been beaten in first class. Now, don't say why was this a trend to be beaten in one of the first class. That was merely a coincidence. I have been very little punished in my class since I used to be bright student of the class, and mostly it was such a good camaraderie between me as well as between me and the teacher. It was not just him, it's happened similarly in the case of maths as well as science. Initially there was a sort of doubt and vitriolic relation, but later it smoothens out and turned into much more mature as a teacher-student relationship. It was not just this. Every relationship, every perception of bonding takes some time. Give it the time to ripe, and after that time, this will test the true litmus test of that relation. So that was the message for today. Hope you're doing great. Today it's very wintry here. I mean, my feet is falling cold time and again. I am wearing socks, and even after wearing this jacket, I'm feeling cold. Stay safe, stay warm, and do extend your sympathies to the farmers standing up for the cause. It's not just their issue. Tomorrow this will become a household issue, an issue of house budget. So don't be so mean, just think bright, think beyond what is necessarily related to you right now. Okay, there you go. Have a nice day, enjoy, and maybe if you're planning to extend your weekend up to 26th, then great. I'm planning to do so. Let's see what I do. I've been practicing the magic as usual without wasting a single time. So, okay, goodbye. There you go.